All right, so I took to Instagram the other day to ask what the best fixed blade is on the market. I got a ton of answers. We got Bradford Guardian, we got the Boker AK1, we got a couple of SA or EC, I don't know how to pronounce the brand. But my buddy MB Wild mentioned Winkler knives. And I took a look at them. I researched a little bit on the history of the knives and Daniel Winkler, and I was instantly sold. So I went ahead and picked one up. This is the Standard Duty 2. Now, this is probably one of the more easier EDC fixed blades in Winkler's line. The other ones tend to be a little bit on the bigger side, or they look a little more tactical, and that kind of dives into the history of Winkler knives. But the Standard Duty 2 is really what spoke to me. It has a beautiful blade shape, maple handle, and honestly, I can see myself carrying it every day. So today we're going to be unboxing this beautiful knife and diving right into it. So a fun fact that was incredibly cool to me when I first started researching Dan Winkler knives is not only the incredibly rich US history, but the fact that a lot of his knives have been in really cool movies like The Last of the Mohicans and Zero Dark 30. You don't see a lot of makers talk about movies that they've made, so it's incredibly cool to see his knives on there. Now, when you buy a Winkler knife, the packaging is fairly simple, straightforward. It's a cardboard box with the Winkler knife logo on the top. You have the side, which lets you know which model you've purchased. So in our case, we have a Winkler Knives SD1 in maple, and of course, made here in the US of A. I'm not expecting anything super fancy with this packaging, so definitely a pretty straightforward item here. When you open up the box, fairly simple stuff on the inside. You're going to have a Daniel Winkler microfiber cloth, which I thought was a nice touch. You can use that to clean your glasses, clean the blade off, keep it in your back pocket for whatever else you may need. Thought it was really cool for them to add something in there. And you have your knife packaged up in brown wrapping paper inside of a plastic bag. So I like the fact that they really made sure to put the knife in a way that it's fully protected. Now, first impressions on this knife, I thought it was fairly small, actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be. They have the Blue Ridge Hunter, which is coming in at 8 inches overall, and the Standard Duty 1 is 7 inches overall. So definitely a little smaller than I expected, but my god guys, the quality on it is fantastic right out of the box. Super sharp. I love the fact that the handle is maple. It's very lightweight, and it honestly fits in perfectly no matter which grip you decide to carry it in. The black leather sheath is also pretty nice. Now on the inside, you also do get a sheet of paper that gives you a little bit more information on Daniel Winkler and the history of Winkler knives, which I thought was really cool, along with some of the specs on all of their knives. It doesn't necessarily mention the spec of the knife that you purchased, I noticed. They just kind of talk about the materials overall. You also get your certificate of authenticity, which I'm assuming is who inspected it, as well as your model number, along with a little thank you card on the back, which I thought was really cool. Phone number that you can contact them in. And then lastly, you have that microfiber cloth. Again, a really nice touch. Not something that's super necessary, but I thought it was kind of cool that they threw that in there as well. Now, the blade steel on this guy is EDC V2, which you see in a lot of Winkler knives. It also sports a black oxidized no glare finish, a blade length of 3.14 inches with an overall length of 7 inches. Now, something really cool about the blade sheath is that it has kind of like this satin liner on the inside, which I thought was really cool to make sure that your knife stays, I guess, as clean and nice looking as possible, despite it being a hard used knife. Now with this guy, we do have that maple handle, which I think is perfect. It's perfectly balanced in the hand, and it just fits, honestly, it fits just right. Now, the finger jimping along the top I thought was really great. It's not sharp at all, and it feels perfect in the hands. I feel like when it comes to a knife like this, where you know it's going to be a hard-used knife, the jimping along the top really helps you choke up on the blade and making sure that your fingers don't go anywhere. It feels super comfortable in the hand, and I honestly have a lot of faith in being able to use this for any task, whether it's self-defense or just cutting through a lot of different pieces. You know, overall, I'm just extremely impressed with the design from Daniel Winkler. I think it's really cool that his history behind the brand has so much passion, and it's something that I can see myself carrying on the daily, which is exactly what I was looking for. Now, the only thing that I do wish that would have been a little different with this knife was just the sheath. This is a $300 fixed blade, so in my personal opinion, I do wish they would have given us a leather sheath instead of the Kydex one, but I do like the fact that it is lined on the inside. I think it's a nice touch, but when you use this sheath in the pocket or on your belt, something to keep in mind is that it does have this, I don't even know what to call it, this kind of like clip, and I'm assuming that's so it holds onto your belt properly. Now, taking this thing off of even just my joggers was a massive pain in the ass, so I kind of wish they would have done something a little different with the sheath. But in all honesty, guys, the knife itself is pretty damn perfect. I think if you are going to find any flaws with this knife, I think it's probably going to come down to people who want a different kind of steel. But there's honestly so many options on the Winkler website that I think it's kind of hard for you to not find something that you genuinely enjoy. The Standard Duty 1 is a great EDC fixed blade. If you are looking for something that's a little bit more traditional, that has an amazing history, and it's just something that looks really damn nice, honestly. So I think anybody who picks up one of these will have an absolute blast using it on the daily. And that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of content. I always try to make my knife videos a little different and add a little more cinematic value to them. So if you do like that, go ahead and drop a like on the bottom of the video here. Drop a comment. Will you be picking one of these up? Have you picked one up and you love it? Which model do you own? Tell me everything. I always love chatting with you guys down in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.